Okay, thank you everyone for coming this morning. It's always a busy time of year for our retirees and parking and our new retirees who are going to have a new parking status. So my name is Aisha Dixon. I'm the director of the UCLA Emeriti Retirees Relations Center. I have my colleague Lam here as well, who is our retiree resource specialist. I'll have her put some information in the chat about our website and where to find our parking form that is available so you can see the parking rates as we're getting them updated as quickly as possible. We are so lucky to have our colleagues from UCLA Transportation here. We have Paulino, who is, I have your title here. Hold on, it just went away. Who is the Bruin Commuter Programs Coordinator for Events and Transportation, and Lauren Lopez, who is the I have appeal specialist with parking services as well. So without further ado, we did have questions that were submitted when you registered. I will put those into the chat once we get started. I will also respond directly to those who sent those inquiries over. So that way, anyone who registered, you will get those questions and answers as well. And the recording of this will be posted on our YouTube channel later today. So, I'll turn it over to you, Pauline.
Thank you so much, Aisa. So let me share my screen right now. Just to make sure I am the co-host right now. Perfect. All right, should be able to see. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Emeriti and Retiree parking presentation. So today we're going to go over some common questions and instructions. And if you are first time using our system, purchasing parking, don't worry, we will all go over this with you. So here is the presentation outline. We will go over permit types, privileges. We will go over like where is the medical center lots, and we will try to go over disable parking, supervisor eligibility, how to use our ePermit portal to purchase, sign up for all the technical issues, and also explain basically all the information down there. And I would say for all the questions, we would just hold all the questions till the end of the presentation, and we will go over one by one. So
I'm sorry, can you please speak up?
Oh, sure. Can you hear me? Yeah, no problem. Okay, so for permit types, we have our three annual permit types. It's eMRT, ePermit, and we have the vBlue and vBrown. So for eMRT, we have no weekly limit, and for vBlue and vBrown, we do have to notice that you can only park twice a week. And for that vBrown, it's maximum 4 hours per day. And the rates are here, but that's before the 10% City of Los Angeles parking occupancy tax. So when you log in, you will see the new update rate. Obviously, it's after the tax, but no other additional fees. And any permit sales for this year, this fiscal year will be available on June 2nd. So you will log on to your portal and purchase on that day. And for quarterly permits, we do have the night and weekend permit. So it starts from 4 p.m. to 8 a.m. the second day. And it's all Monday through Friday and all day on weekends. And for weekend permit, it's basically for whoever that comes to Westwood only on weekends, and it's all day available, and it starts from 12 p.m. Friday to 8 a.m. Monday. So make sure if you purchase that, you need to remove the car by 8 p.m. Monday so you don't get citation or anything. So for quarterly permits, and that will also be available on June 2nd, we have daily, yellow, and blue. So make sure that you purchase the one that's more suitable for you, but these are the permit types we have. And for permit privileges, this is something I strongly recommend uh, our people to take a look at it, and it gives you like a full list of information of what kind of like restrictions your permit might have when you purchase it, and what kind of like maybe like cross parking options or some of the instructions that your permit might have. So you can go to our UCLA Transportation website. Under the faculty and staff, you should be able to see the parking permit tab, and you just select the relate links, and you should be able to open this PDF file. So for a medical plaza parking, so I know some people they might get confused, but basically if you're using the ePermit parking, it would be the Structure 1 medical plaza parking. And for patient parking, we do have, medical plaza, we have Jim Stand. We also use another one for patient parking only. It's the exit system. So it's different from the ePermit parking, just FYI. And so here's like a little video to show you where is our parking structure 1, which is the medical plaza parking. So you should be able to see once you enter basically Gately Avenue, you would be able to see this the parking structure would be on your right-hand side, and you should be able to see there's like a blue thing on like basically on the wall of the buildings. It's basically like a UCLA um, like something like that, and you should be able to see it and park there. And for these, if you are unable to find it, I'd say I recommend you to find this building. It's basically across this Jewish like building, so it should be very easy for you to find it. So once you find the medical plaza parking, make sure you go to the staff parking only, because this is when like you have your permit purchase already, and your permit were like daily like permits, so you don't have to go to the visitor parking, because that's only for like a payment and patient parking only. So for disabled parking, yes, like if you do hold a DP card or a plate, that you can basically cross park at anywhere. If you see there's a parking cell on campus, you should be able to park it there. And just to make sure you have a valid e-permit with you when you take the card with you, and it must be displayed so you don't get like charge or citation. And you just need to make sure that like if you see like an X seal or blue seal, they are an option, just to make sure that you follow your parking privileges. So you will see like what are some like limitations or restrictions that your permit might have. Supervisor eligibility. So for this one, it's the ERC decides if, let's say, if your partner or spouse basically purchased the annual permits, and their spouse or partner should be able to use it as well. But you would just have to, I think, shoot us an email or consult ERC for more information, and we were able to process this for you. And also make sure you do create a guest account if you are qualified for this under the Bruin ePermit portal. All right, so for the Bruin ePermit portal, so this is for people who've never used it before, or maybe you're familiar with the system. So if you do have your UCLA logon, this is what I strongly recommend. You would just get your UCLA logon ID. It works for every basically the one you have for your internal logon would be the one you use. And if you don't know, you can also create a guest login, but which one you use, make sure as soon as you create or log onto it, you write down your username and password so you don't forget. I think that's just easier for everyone to purchase permit in the future. And for signing up, So I do have an instruction video for you, and I will go over this one by one. For sign up, this is technically for first time user. We use a guest account. You will just enter your ID, email address, confirm everything, enter your information, and then, oh, sorry. And then you create a new account. So this is how easy it is. And for purchasing, this is the part that when you are ready to buy an annual permit or just any daily permit. So you will log on to our Bruin ePermit portal, and you will see there are like a bunch of selections. You will also see the get permits. This is when you would just click it, purchase a permit, and then you would click next. There's no further step you need to do here. And once you click next, it will take you to the next page. Basically, you will see all the available parking permits, and obviously, we will update our all the rates for our permit like every fiscal year. So you will see a new updated rates for this year 2025 to 2026. And you will also be able to see your permit effective date and when it expires. So make sure you keep an eye on this because it's very important. Although our portal like opens like on June 2nd for everyone to purchase the annual permit, but the effective date is on July 1st. So make sure you keep an eye on it, and then and also once you select the permit that you want, you click the two options under like this page. I agree options with parking privileges and also the UCLA parking regulations. And once you're done with it, you will go to the next page. All right, so this is where you select your vehicle. So far you can only add 2 vehicles, maximum 2 vehicles. So you will select the vehicle that you use, you would use for this permit, and then you add this to basically you link it to your permit. So you just enter your plate number, confirm it, make sure everything is correct, make sure you add the year. Basically you follow all the steps. And it's very important to give us the right information. So make sure you double check you have the correct information of your vehicle before you enter these information. Otherwise, you might go back to make another change because if there is incorrect information, you might get citation in the future. So we just want to prevent that. So here is basically the instruction where you follow each step and enter the information in each category. And I will skip it a little bit. And then once you're done with it, you click next. All right, so adding a vehicle. I think this step is not very right. Sorry about that. Yeah. Before you add a vehicle, I do want to show you, this is where you're supposed to see, select the vehicle. So you select the vehicle that you already add to the system, and you go to the pay portion. So this is when you can, oh, I guess it's not showing here. But all right, so adding a vehicle, it's basically if your first vehicle is not available, you can add a new vehicle, but remember you can only add 2 vehicles per account. So to add another vehicle, you will go to the more and then click vehicle, and it will take you all the way to basically you can select here to add a new vehicle, or you can just go all the way down for another new vehicle.
Hi, Pauline. I'm sorry to interrupt. Some of our retirees are requesting that we speak louder and
Yeah.
clearer. They're having trouble hearing.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm like super close to the laptop, so um so like just to make sure everyone can hear me, is it like clear enough? Yeah, I just want to make sure everyone can hear me because I'm like next to the a laptop, so make sure that there's no any mic issues.
It could just be louder. I am just naturally a loud speaker from being a
Yeah.
former cheerleader, but
Mhm.
also we are doing closed captioning, so maybe that will help some folks. Otherwise, I do apologize if anyone's having difficulty. I will put this on our YouTube channel so you can watch it later and crank up that volume.
Yeah, okay. I would try to speak louder. Sorry, everyone. I'm like at my maximum. Yeah. But I would definitely try. All right, so for the plate number, it's basically the same thing when you add your first vehicle. You enter the plate number and you confirm it. It's the same process for the second vehicle when you're trying to like add this to our Bruin ePermit. You entered all the information, the year, make a selection, which model. Basically, I just did like an example here for adding a second vehicle. So it's very simple. It's a very easy process. So you should be able to add a second vehicle successfully. Just follow like all the instructions here. And this is here for, like we already update a new vehicle. Super easy. So shouldn't be any problem, but just remember two vehicles only. So if you want to add third vehicle, that's not an option. So forgot password. So forgot password, it's when you don't remember, and we do have, like an option to find your password. So you will have to go to your guest login, and then for this part, you would just ignore, go to click here and enter the email address. Usually, I recommend try your UCLA email address and then your personal address, the one you use very frequent, and then you click submit. And then once you submit this, you should be able to get like a new link, ask you to reset your password, or it will like provide a username for you. So basically, if you're stuck at this step, you're also feel free to call IT to troubleshoot it for you. So you can either send us an email or call IT to find your password. So for solo structures, this is when people want to buy maybe daily permit, but maybe they were unable to buy it due to some reason. So it would basically give you basically the notice that, okay, the reason why you cannot buy it, it's because it already sold out. So if you are unable to purchase a parking here, that means this parking structure it's already sold out, so you won't be able to park it there. So you should maybe find a new parking structure and purchase a new parking permit there. So that's just something you should keep in mind. And for Park Mobile is basically for people who are using maybe just an app instead of the pay station, just for an easier transaction. This is definitely an option. And also it's better for short-term parking. If you're only here like 1 or 2 hours, so you don't have to buy you don't have to like get the full day permit. So it's three dollars per hour plus the 45 cents convenience fee. So the app will notify you when your parking is about to expire. So you should be able to go back and drive your car, but just make sure that you turn on the notification in case you miss the notification. So this one does not provide customers with discount rates. And for you to purchase, you will just have to enter 2508 for UCLA zone number. And I have a video to show you how to purchase on the website. So you will go to the Park Mobile website, click the zone number. So it's 2508. Yes, so and once you enter the 2508, oh, sorry. Sorry, my laptop is not very, it's not very convenient today. So you confirm it and then you will continue. So make sure you see the UCLA one and you click the day rate. It should be 16.45 cents. But if you click the by the hour and minute, you should be able to customize how long you want to park. So it will give you like the exact rate. So maximum you can do is like 3 hours, but you can definitely customize. It's really up to you. And you would try just continue as guest. Enter your license plate number, country, state, and make sure everything's correct. And you go to the payment option. So payment only accepts credit card. So you would just have to double check. You have the correct bank information and you should be good to go. So our office hours for phone hours are Monday to Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. And you can call us at 310-749-7433. And our lobby hours is Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We're at 555 Westwood Plaza, Los Angeles. And you can check our suite. It's Suite 101. If you have any questions, you can stop by and then, and I think our agent would be there and we will also be there to help you. And here's the Q&A. So feel free to, drop down your questions. And this is the section where you can ask your questions. And I see we do have like many questions in the chat box already. So
Yeah, let's
yeah.
start from the beginning. Okay, so to be able to park in lot 8 or go to the faculty center for lunch, they are disabled and have the disabled placard. So what's the procedure to get into that lot? You mentioned just as long as you display your placard and you pay for the parking permit, you could park anywhere.
Yeah.
Correct?
So for that one, basically you would just have to like show it, and as long as you have, basically you just have to make sure that the vehicle is like linked to the permit that you purchased. And you should be able to, show the display and park anywhere because it's basically a disabled like privilege for people who are maybe experience some inconvenience. So you do see the cross like parking options, but I do recommend everyone to take a look at the parking privilege doc once you you decide where you want to park. It's just easier, it's just more convenient for people to get like maybe firsthand information, know that what are some restrictions maybe you might experience because we have so many parking structures. And if you're not sure, I recommend you basically maybe write us an email saying that, oh, I want to park maybe at structure 5, just an example. And is there any restrictions that I might get if I park there? And I have it displayed. So I'm, but I want to see if there's any cross parking options. So in this case, we will check it for you, just double check for you. And I think this is just like the best way. Just give us an email. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But
Um,
usually it should be fine. Yes.
Okay, and you mentioned retirees can park near the medical center, lot 1, but not in the actual underground 200 building spaces.
Oh, for the parking one, so it's basically when you see the medical, so the structure 1, like that structure should be able to park. But I can for this I can ask my coworker, maybe if Lauren or Tirza is here. So because I forgot because I never like really like parked at parking structure 1. So I don't know if you mean like basically it's like the basement, or is that what you mean like
So the medical center is its
mhm.
own parking structure below the 100, 200, and 300 building. 1 is a separate lot. So does
Question.
Sorry, not to interrupt you,
Okay.
Aisha. I can chime in. Hi, everyone. My name is Tirza. I'm our customer relations manager. I work with Pauline over in Bruin Commuter Programs. But yes, to answer your question, so any of the Emirati or retiree permits, V Brown, V Blue, they are not valid in the medical plaza. So the side that you access via Westwood Boulevard that kind of takes you down underground, your permit's not going to be valid there. So if you do park there, you're going to be paying. So you all know beginning July 1st, there will be a new tiered rate structure in the medical plaza. So they'll be offering like a rate that covers 1 to 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours, 5 hours plus, or the full day, and those will have different tiered rates. So if for whatever reason it is more convenient for you to park on the medical plaza side, you absolutely can, but you will pay out of pocket for that. If you want to be able to use your permit, then yeah, you need to park in structure one, which you enter off of Gailey, that would be just north of LeConte. And as Pauline showed in the video, make sure you're entering through the staff parking entrance, not the visitor parking entrance.
Does that also include Jules Stein?
Yes, so Jules Stein is not included. So same thing. If you wanted to park in Jules Stein, you would need to pay for that. As a visitor, your permit is unfortunately not valid in Jules Stein either.
Okay.
And in case you all forget or want access to this, that permit privileges document that Pauline linked to, it does have all of this information there. So it'll tell you, your permit is not valid in the medical building, Medical Plaza, at UCLA Ronald Reagan Medical Center, or at Jules Stein. But it does tell you it's valid in structure one, up to your 2 days. If you have that 2-day limit, those 2 days you can park in structure one if that's your need for coming to campus those days.
And I think we either are working on getting that sheet from Pauline, or Lamb already has it, but we'll definitely update the form for our retirees as well. And if we could possibly get your slides as well, Pauline, that would be great too. Okay, the next question, can retirees permit park on X permit area? That would like emeritize is equal to X.
Yeah, so I just want to double check. So for this, Tirza, for the X permit, so they should be able to park. They get like the privilege for this one, right?
Let me check. I'm going to pull up. I have the privileges open. Let me just make sure. Admittedly, I do not memorize them all off the top of my head.
Good
So
morning,
yes,
guys. Yes.
Emirati permits, yes, valid in X. Thanks, Lauren, for chiming in.
Thank you. And we're telling folks to call IT or email if they do not know their 10-digit ID or UCLA logon. Could they get that through you as well?
So I think like ideally if they can provide us maybe just like first name as long as I have.
Name, date of birth or something, and then you can look them up.
So in our system, I think we would go from first name and last name, and then we would see if that's the one that they use. You might see like duplications, but I think that's something we would like have to like verify with our maybe like our customers. Hey, like I'm able to pull up this account. Is this your email? So once we confirm the email address, and we were able to confirm your UCLA, like basically your ID. Yeah.
So really quick, sorry to interrupt, Aisha. So in the past, what we would do is we would have the retiree or the emeriti create a guest account, and then we would go ahead and link their privileges to the account that they created. Now, moving forward, this year we were made aware that we don't lose access to our UCLA ID. So even after we retire, we don't lose access. In some cases, we have had some customers say that they don't have access. So that's kind of where we're moving forward. Instead of having the retiree create a whole new guest account, we're asking that if they're having trouble logging in, that they reach out to IT so they can help them get back into their account using that established ID that was assigned to them, throughout their stay here on campus. Okay. So that's the only difference. So we can't help with gaining access on that account anymore. It would need to be through IT. But if they have any questions about what their ID number is, yeah, that definitely we can help look up.
Okay, and there was another question. This is similar, not to go out of order for the questions, but if you do have a MedNet email, due to HIPAA regulations that is shut off, you need to make sure you touch base with IT prior to your email
That
being
is
disconnected.
that is the exception
Right,
because
correct, yeah.
of the MedNet accounts that we're gonna keep the original process that the process that we previously had in creating the guest account, only because those are not able to access that account because of that HIPAA regulation.
So if you are from the medical center, make sure you get your retiree email account set up through IT prior to retiring, because otherwise you will not have access to the MedNet because of HIPAA regulations. The next question is, in the past, the Model Y Tesla was not listed as a vehicle. Is it listed now?
Um,
I don't know. I don't drive a Tesla, but I mean, I think if you submit an email to transportation and say my car is not listed, I'm sure they could somehow get it updated. So that's my only answer to that one. Let's see.
Give me a second on that one, Aisha.
Okay.
I'm looking it up now. Um, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't have the model on there, but you should be able to move forward and add just the vehicle make. You can skip the model, and it'll register it just fine.
Yeah, because you have the license plate, correct? So
Correct.
that should be good. Okay.
That should be sufficient, but I will get with our department and see if it can be an option just to avoid any future questions. But yeah, even though it's not on there, you can move forward without adding it.
Okay. So someone mentioned about being a survivor. Yes, once you reach out to our office, we do verify that the benefits from the Emeriti do transfer to the spouse. Just let us know, and then we will reach out to transportation, and the benefits that apply to that faculty or that academic senate member do apply to the survivor. So that's that question. So someone messaged me about possibly parking in lot A. Lot A does show up on the permits. I've parked in lot A before. I'm not sure if this person has a specific question about the restrictions in lot A and they want to ask it. Okay. I don't want to just out the person, but do you have any specific questions about lot A? Okay, go ahead, Angie.
The question that you read was for lot 8 for the faculty center and disabled parking, and I think they wanted lot A because that's next to faculty center.
Oh,
Lot
so
8 is considerably further away.
okay, so maybe they meant A and not 8. Got it. Okay, yeah. So you can pick lot A if I'm not incorrect, Pauline or Lauren, but it's a selection when you pay for your parking permit to pick lot A. Are there any restrictions to lot A that I'm not aware of?
Yeah, I don't, because I was checking parking privileges, and so far I don't see there's any like restrictions for parking structure aid. Lauren or Tirza, feel free to correct me. Yeah, but the parking privilege doesn't mention anything. So like if there's any like updates, we'll let you know. But yeah, just to like confirm with my team members. Yeah.
Now, really quick, this isn't pertaining to like daily passes. This is the annual permit, right?
I believe the question was for likely the annual permit because we do mostly of those with our population.
Okay, yeah, no. There are no restrictions to lot A. But it might be if they're doing dailies, that might be a little bit difficult. There are some daily sales that are sold limited to lot A. So if somebody's trying to get a daily parking permit in that area, it's kind of like lot 1, it would be very difficult. So yeah, but no restrictions for the annual pass in that lot.
And just to add, assuming this was for daily permits, if the person asking the question, I believe they said they had a disabled placard. So in that case, you could definitely buy a, let's say, structure 2 daily permit, which is the next closest, but then also park in lot A because of that disabled placard that gives you that mobility. So as long as you have a valid permit for a structure on campus with a disabled placard, you can actually park anywhere, as long as it is a legal parking space. In case that was specific to dailies. And as Lauren said, for annuals, it's already covered.
Great, thank you. I'm trying to get to all the questions. Is a permit valid in the Hammer Museum? I think I know that's no. I'm not aware of that being a privilege. It's never been in the past.
Yeah, so you're right. So for anyone who wants to park at Hammer Museum, I believe the rate is $7 for visitors, and I don't think they give any discount to basically our UCLA in emeriti and retiree, and even to like staff parking. I don't think that's an option. Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Sure. I see a few questions were already answered. I will copy and paste the chat questions into my follow-up emails so that you have the answers there as well. So someone mentioned that they don't have access to the parking privilege booklet. If you want us to print it out for you at the ERRC, you can more than welcome to come to our office and we'll print it out a copy for you. Otherwise, all we have is the PDF because it does change every year. Let's see. So someone mentioned about the UCLA retiree account having limitations. Yes, you have, I think, 5 GB, and that's just what it's going to be. I think back when they promised email addresses to everyone, alumni and staff and faculty, it was at the infancy of what email was, and all the emails that people have are in the cloud, and it's gotten really expensive. So the short answer is yes, as a retiree or an alumni, you do have 5 GB of memory in the cloud. Outside of that, you won't receive new emails. Okay, let's see. Next question. If I have a medical appointment and I have a placard, can I park an X or blue permit? Any time restrictions with the medical center and the medical appointment with the placard?
I believe there's just to make sure it's Medical Plaza, right?
So, Ramona, are you referring to the medical center parking that we mentioned earlier? Is Ramona still here?
Yes.
Okay. So the medical center, I mean, I don't want to, I guess we get clarification. If they have an X or blue permit with a placard, does that trump the no parking at the medical center?
Um,
I can chime in here. So, unfortunately, on the medical center side, the medical plaza that's off of Westwood, that still won't be accessible. The placard doesn't add any extra mobility there. You would still be required to pay. But on the structure one side off of Gailey, that does have X and blue permit spaces. And yes, you can park in any of those spaces as long as you have your DP placard displayed, and your permit is active, and linked to that vehicle that you're bringing that day that you're going to your appointment.
Okay. And someone mentioned if you know that you need a lot at a certain time, can you log in at 12:01 a.m.? Yes, you can log in at 12:01, and they do suggest buying your permit before coming to campus. So there are no, again, I'll mention about the medical center. There are no daily permits for the medical center. If you are current faculty and staff and you have an annual permit, you do get, I believe, up to 4 hours of free parking. I don't think that's changed. But once you're retired, there is no parking at the medical center plaza. We've tried to get this in the past because a lot of our population do frequent the medical plaza, but it's not something we can offer. So, any other questions about the medical center before we move on? Feel free to unmute and ask a question.
Yeah, I had a question. I had put it in the chat. The prorated parking rates for structure one that were mentioned, what's the effective date of that?
Do you want to answer that, Pauline? Okay.
yeah. Sorry, because I'm like looking at the check. Sorry. So, basically you're asking for the effective date, right? Sorry, because
Yeah, the effective date of the prorate where you can pay less for like 1 to 3 hours and 3 to 5 or whatever it was, when does that become effective?
Mm. So for
July 1st, if
yeah, because I know it's July 1st, so I just want to make sure.
Okay,
Yeah, I just want to make sure because I've never like heard that like kind of like option. But yeah, but like for if you purchase like an annual, it should be like good to use on July 1st. And but then it will expire on June 30th, 2026. So
I don't have an annual permit and I'm not planning to. I don't come to campus that much, but I do go for medical appointments. So I just want to be sure that you're saying July 1st, I have the option to buy a V Blue permit for structure one and can do the reduced rate for the 1 to 3 hour kind of thing, because I'm never there longer than an hour or so.
oh, so you're talking about the Park Mobile, right? So in this case,
No, no,
yeah.
no, no.
Yeah.
The other person
So,
mentioned
mhm.
that they're going to be doing a prorated for structure one, apparently July 1st, where instead of me having to pay for a full day of parking and I only need to be there for a couple hours, that I can pay a reduced fee for the 1 to 3 hour time period instead of spending the $9 or whatever it is for a full day.
Hi, Ron. That was me, Tirza, that was mentioning that earlier. So
Yes,
yes,
yes.
those rates are going to be available in the medical plaza. So you would just pull in as a regular patient. You're not going to need, your retiree status or anything. Those rates are not tied to any particular status. It's just across the board. So you enter off of Westwood, go, down and do that kind of turnaround into the medical plaza. You'll pull a ticket on entry, and then that ticket will prorate based off when you're exiting. And then you'll get, those tiered rates, but those don't start until July 1st. So
But is
anytime in
that
between now and July 1st, if you're going, you're still going to be paying the flat rate of the $16 per day.
okay? There's a lot of information. It seems to be conflicting. I don't care about Med Plaza. I care about Structure One. So is Structure One going to allow us to buy that tiered parking or not?
No, unfortunately not. That's
Okay,
only going to be on the patient side. So yeah, structure one will still have the regular daily rate. And you can,
okay.
log in as soon as midnight and purchase for structure one. Just note that structure one is very impacted recently.
Oh, yeah.
So we are seeing a lot of those permits sell out as soon as 2 or 3 in the morning on some days. So just kind of keep that in mind. And if you're not able to purchase in structure one, then you would just need to buy, the next closest lot, like maybe structure 8.
I don't know what was going on one day, but I was logged in at 12:05 and it was already sold out.
Yeah,
Structure
yeah,
One.
it's very heavily impacted,
Yes, no,
unfortunately.
I understand. Yeah.
I
All
have
right. Thank you
I
very much.
I have a
Yeah, of
question
course.
regarding the arts. You have the theater near the Wilshire Center, and then you have obviously the Hammer, and then you have the Fowler. Obviously, I support the arts and I like to go to these venues. So my question is, given the one that's in by the Wilshire Center, is that also parking that's available in that white structure 10920 so that we have access to the theater near there? And I think I heard that the Hammer Museum did not accept our your parking permit, and I'm not sure about the Fowler now, given some of the conversation that you had. So I guess it'd be nice to have some clarity about eligibility when it relates to these and access to these venues, particularly if we're supporting some of the activities that take place there.
Who can take that question?
I'm just trying to get, obviously I want to be at these venues,
Right.
but I want to
Well,
make sure I'm not in violation and if any parking restrictions. So, and I do have a year permit. I'm sure all of us at some point have gone to the museums, but if there's any clarity, particularly the one with Wilshire and then the one at the Fowler Museum, I'm assuming
So
that's.
Fowler is 5. Your permits are valid at parking structure 5 for
Okay.
Fowler. I don't know the parking number structure is near Hammer or the Geffen School. So, is anyone?
No, the Geffen School I didn't mention.
I mean, sorry, the Geffen Theater. Sorry.
The theater, that's the one in the on Wilshire and Westwood Boulevard. It's near the
Yes.
Wilshire building.
Or
It's not
Chick-fil-A.
the Hammer Museum.
Yeah, so unfortunately, the one that's there, by that theater by Chick-fil-A, as well as down at the Hammer Museum, they're not valid with your permit. So the one by the Fowler Museum is 39. That's the number of the lot. Excuse me, the one by the Chick-fil-A is 39. And I'm not positive on the number of the one down by the Fowler Museum, but basically those properties are called our assets properties. They're owned by external entities, but run by us kind of internally. So there's a couple. There is also one down by Geffen. So there's 35, 37, 38, and 39. Unfortunately, all of those are not covered by the permit. So you would need to basically pay out of pocket if you want to park in those areas.
And just a suggestion, if in the future might consider doing an art sort of, close related structures that are eligible, just so that, people I think might be interested in that, just a suggestion for future. So that we have a better idea about what we're eligible for vis-a-vis those art venues.
That would be great. Yeah. Okay, so any other questions before I go to the chat questions? Please feel free to go ahead and unmute yourself.
I just wanted to make a comment about the lot closest to the Fowler Museum is Lot 5. It's the one near Anderson, AGSM, and it's also a very popular lot too, so it might be hard to get parking in there.
Yes, that's also near our building. So we are familiar with the lot being also sold out frequently as well. There was a question that was mentioned about, or I guess in your slides, you mentioned about things being sold out. What options, if I think Ron mentioned he logged on at 12:05 and the lot was sold out, what alternative do people have to the lot being sold out so quickly? Should they just buy the nearest lot and get a blue permit and then they can cross park?
Yeah, for that, I think that's as soon as you see it's sold out, you should be able to basically be more flexible, thinking that, oh, let me check if there's a nearby parking. I think that's definitely the fastest option. So you don't wait and then see other parking get taken by other people. So basically, you just have to be very fast, because it is, we do have a sometimes low capacity for everyone try to get the parking permits. So yeah, so if in this case, yeah, you would just have to click basically all the nearby options.
Okay, so just be a night owl, everyone. That's the suggestion here. 12:01 and 51 seconds. I joke. So is there a 2-time-a-week parking limit in parking lot 1 with the placard, with the disabled placard for medical appointments? Because if you have the V Blue, it's limited to 2 times a week. Does that include having the disabled placard? So just
Yes,
if you
that's correct. So yeah, it's still limited to 2 times per week, kind of regardless of the disabled placard. The only benefit that the disabled placard would allow you is to really park anywhere during those 2 days, excluding the medical plaza, of course. But any of our UCLA lots, so structure 1, structure 5, structure 8, structure 9, all of those lots are going to be accessible to you, usually just because of your permit privileges. But if there is a lot that's excluded from your permit privileges, but you have the placard, you can park there. Again, with the exception of the medical plaza, just because it operates differently. It's on a separate system. There's gated entries, you take ticket upon entry, so on and so forth.
Okay. And then to clarify, for survivors of retirees, not emeriti. So, Lam, I don't know if you want to answer this one, but when we do our survivor parking benefits, for sure, emeriti faculty get that benefit. It's also for retirees get whatever the benefit the retiree had.
That was my understanding, yes.
Yeah, that's our understanding as well. So we've always processed it like that, and we've not had any issues. So if the retiree had V Blue, the retiree had yellow or V Blue, then yes, they would get that survivor benefit. Another question.
May I ask you a question? Did you say emeriti do not get it? Just retiree? I didn't get this.
It's the both. The
Oh.
retiree gets the retiree survivor gets the retiree survivor benefit, and the emeriti survivor gets this emeriti survivor benefit.
And there is steps that I can follow. I'm just becoming a widow. I can follow to get an account and all that, right?
Yes, email our office and we have to verify some information, but we can help you with that.
Thank you.
Okay.
I saw one question asking, is Park Mobile used for the parking structures?
I think so. Pauline
Yeah,
or
I was gonna say, yeah, I think so too for that one. Basically, sorry, it's kind of loud. But like, for Park Mobile, basically you will have to make a selection. So, but I think it should be like open for all like structures.
and I'll add the link to download that app because I've used it before to park at lot 2 just for like an hour because it was just easier to have it on my phone. So another question about
Really quick, Aisha, before you move along. So the Park Mobile is available in those parking structures that have visitor spaces. So, yeah.
So that would be like 5, 2. I don't know them all, but like 2, for example, definitely has
Correct.
Park Mobile and probably like 5.
Lot 5, lot 3,
Okay.
lot 8,
Okay.
lot 4.
Okay.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. So the Park Mobile option, it's available on the visitor parking structure on Gailey. Is that correct?
Yes. So basically, yeah.
Do you mean structure 1, the one we've been talking about that's
So
attached to the medical center?
That's another thing that's confusing. When you say structure 1, are you talking about the entrance along Westwood?
Gaily.
Gailey, yeah. So along Westwood, that is the medical plaza. That's what we refer to
Okay.
as the medical plaza parking. Structure 1 is a staff faculty parking lot. It's the one off of Gailey, but it is connected to the medical buildings.
Okay, yeah, I'm talking about structure 1 then, the one on Gailey for the visitor patient parking. Is the Park Mobile option available for that structure?
So unfortunately, no, it's not. Again, kind of to the same effect that I mentioned earlier, the medical plaza, any parking, visitor parking there is done through our it's called ski data. It's a system, but basically it's gated entry. So you pull a ticket upon entry, you pay upon exit. So structure 1 is part of only staff and faculty parking. Structure 1 does not technically have visitor parking. Any visitor parking is medical plaza. But Park Mobile, yeah, it doesn't work there, unfortunately.
But it is available on the medical plaza, which is entering from
Westwood.
Westwood.
Off of
Okay.
Westwood, yes. And you would just pull a ticket upon entry there. You can do visitor parking. You're just not able to do it like in advance through the Park Mobile app.
Okay, so basically you pull it, like, let's say you have an appointment on a Monday. I just wanted to clarify. You pull a ticket from the medical plaza structure, and then you will just pay whatever number of hours you were in the building.
Exactly.
Okay.
But that's only after July 1st of this year, right? If you were to go between now and July 1st, you'll
Yeah.
still be paying the $16 for the full day. We don't unfortunately do hourly rates at this current time. But yes, beginning July 1st, we'll have hourly rates. And yeah, it'll timestamp your entry. And then when you're exiting, you either feed the ticket into the machine and you can pay with a credit card there at like the exit column. Or there's machines by the elevators. When you come out, you feed the ticket in, it'll tell you how long you've been, you pay your hourly rate, and then feed the ticket on exit, and you'll be good to go.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
There's another question about the Nimoy Theater in Wilshire. So the 10920 is the Wilshire Center, and the parking lot there are restricted. So I think that's what Lauren mentioned with being an affiliate building or something of that nature. So could you speak more about lot 35, 32, and 36? I'm looking at the website now, but it just talks about it being restricted up to 5 times a month for meetings and training sessions only.
So structures 32 and 36 are part of our regular parking structure. Like, you know, they're part of the UCLA campus structures, if you will call them that. So we have kind of full authority over those. So yes, your permit is going to be valid in 36 and 32. And those are directly across the street from each other. 35 is one of those asset property lots that I mentioned earlier. So we don't have kind of direct oversight of those. The entities that own the building kind of tell us how they would like to run the parking in those areas. So the permits aren't valid there. And that's the case for all permits. Basically any monthly auto renew, any staff and faculty permits, none of those work in the assets lots. It's only assigned to people that are specifically working out of those locations. And then some folks with blue permit privileges are also able to buy dailies into those locations. So for you, those of you that buy dailies, you may occasionally see those like 38, 35, 37. And if you're going to that area, you can buy it. I just know they do tend to restrict that access as well. And you may have difficulty buying dailies there if they're even available to you in the first place.
Okay. Yeah, and I did find, so I just Googled Wilshire Center and it talks about the different parking lots and how to get cross parking information into that lot. So I will add that to my follow-up email to send to everyone as well. So any other questions that people did not get addressed? If you want to unmute, you can ask your question. It's a lot to take in, so I really appreciate parking services taking care of this Zoom for us. Someone mentioned about KREC. So we don't currently have any sort of agreement with KREC, but I mean, it's something where I don't know the parking lot next to it offhand, but someone did say lot 32 could be used for KREC. This is a good question. So on the twice a week parking privilege, can I park in 2 lots the same day?
Yeah, so your mobility kind of, as long as it is into a lot where your permit is valid, then yeah, you're fine to kind of move around throughout the day. Will parking enforcement, if they, you know, scan your vehicle, let's say in structure 8 at 9 a.m. and then later they're in structure 2 and scan your vehicle again at noon, that's okay because your permit's valid in both of those areas and it's on the same day. So there's no issues there. Yes, so to Carol's question, 2 hours, yes. So if you do have the permit that it's only 2 hours per day, 2 times a week, or I think it's 4 hours per day, 2 times a week, whatever that restriction is, yes, you still need to stay within that time frame. So if you were to park in one structure for 2 hours and then another for 2 hours, then that's fine. And you know, we do kind of timestamp, and parking enforcement has all the data. So let's say you were, I don't know, until like a 6th hour in the second structure, then you may be subject to like a warning at that point, letting you know, hey, your permit's only valid for 4 hours and we had, you know, it looks like you've exceeded your 4 hours for today.
Yeah, it's 4 hours, it's not 2. Just to confirm, so you know, Carol, it's 4 hours. Okay, any other questions? We scheduled this meeting to go to about 11:30 so that we could, you know, answer any questions people had about parking, especially for new retirees. The information we got is that you can start redoing the renewal process June 2nd. So that's Monday. Yes. Any other questions you have about parking, privileges, accessibility issues, or lot concerns?
I had a couple questions. If I buy a daily blue permit, can I park in an X spot?
No, unfortunately, X permits are exclusive to
Okay,
X permit spots are exclusive to X permits or the Emirati permit type because that does have
got it.
or allow you to park, but you can park in yellow. So for whatever reason, all the
Right.
blue spots are missing or full rather, you can park in any open, like unmarked space that doesn't say that it's specifically held for another permit type such as X.
Another question I had, and this is related to the fact that I logged in at 12:05 and it was lot 9 at the time was full. And so I got parking in lot 2. Now lot 2 has staff parking and they also have visitor parking you pay at the pay station. With a blue permit, a daily blue permit, which area do I park in? Can I park in either, or is it, I'm not sure where I was supposed to park. I just parked in the paid parking section to avoid a ticket.
Yeah, so if you're buying through the ePermit portal, that's
Right.
considered a staff faculty affiliate permit. So you're going to park in the permit side. So you'll want to
Okay.
avoid the pay by play pay station area. That's
Mhm.
strictly for visitors. So kind of a good rule of thumb is if you bought online on the ePermit portal, stick to the permit parking area. If
Okay.
you're pulling in and want to, input your license plate and pay with, cash or a credit card at the machine, then that's where you'll stick to the visitor area parking. I know structure 2 in particular is a little confusing. So it's kind of like the northern part of the structure is staff parking, and there's
Right.
multiple levels there. And so I know it does kind of a weird roundabout. It can get a little confusing, but if you enter off of it's Hillgard, and I'm not gonna remember the exact name of the street. It's on, like, if you're going north on Hillgard, there's a signal that you'll come across. You make a left
Right.
there. I can
Right.
get you the street name and put it in the chat. There's an entrance there. If you enter through
Right.
there, that's
It's
not
below the
visitor
faculty
parking.
center.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's a staff parking entrance. You enter
Right.
through there, park in any spot,
Okay.
you'll be good.
And my final question is, with the ePermit function, is there any plans to allow you to buy parking for less than a day? Like just for a few hours? Not doing the mobile park thing, but just doing it via the ePermit system? Or will it only be for full days worth of parking?
For now, the plan is still full days.
Okay.
Internally, there are some accompaniments to our system where you can do visitor parking through ePermit portal. Right now, we do utilize that for event parking, but again, that's only for full days as well. So it is something we're considering, but for now, and I guess for the foreseeable future, yeah, if you want to just do like an hour or two, then I would recommend, yeah, you do park mobile or pay at one of the visitor pay stations.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I will say I understand where you're coming from, Ron. I parked in lot 5 and I paid for the blue one day and there was nothing. So I went to the top floor where it's pay by pay station and I got a warning ticket. And there's no, just anecdotally, there's no signage that would exclude the 6th floor of lot 5, and I think the general public knowing that, because if I pay for my permit and I go down to 1, 2, 3, and 4 and there's no parking and I go up to the top open area, there's just no signage to be clear that that would be only for pay station folks, because a lot of our retirees use the top floor of lot 5 and walk over the footbridge to get to our building. So I'm glad I got a warning, but it was definitely a bit upsetting because I paid for a blue permit, which I thought gave me access to all 6 floors of that parking structure, but it does not. Um, so yes, any other questions about parking or eligibility or anything else?
Would that also be true for lot 8? Because lot 8 has the pay on the roof situation as well. I imagine that would also be true for that lot as well.
And 2, I would assume as well. So could you clarify that?
Yeah, so structure 8, the roof level, so that's level 4. You're correct, that it does also have visitor parking, but it's split. So when you actually enter structure 8 level 4, if you go to the right, that's all visitor parking, and there's signs that'll say that. If you go to the left, it is also additional permit parking.
Oh,
So
cool.
all of
Great.
level 1, all of level 2, all of level 3 is permit parking, and then that's going to be the west side of level 4 is also permit parking. And
Great.
there's
Thank
signs
you.
that'll kind of point you to help direct you.
Okay. Someone mentioned about our YouTube channel. Lamb put that in the chat. So I'll try to get it all done today to like compile all the questions. When Pauline sends me her slides, I'll add that to this presentation as well. Any other question? And as I mentioned, we are going to update our website as soon as we can so that we have which lots are exempt, so people can get clarity about the medical center and where to find lot 1. I'll send the Google map link to everyone. So any questions we have here that we have, transportation here to answer any concerns you might have or questions.
I had one more question. With the daily parking rates, what will those be effective July 1st? And will our discount still be the 50% if we're buying just the daily parking?
I can share, give me a second. I will post them in the chat what the new daily rates are going to be. For the daily visitor rate, that is going to go up to $17 an hour. It's currently, sorry, not an hour, for the day. It's currently $16 for the day. It'll now be $17 for the day. And then I can post the actually, I will give them to Pauline and have her email them to Aisha just to not take more time here. Because I don't know what the exact daily rates are for Emeridian retirees. I have the daily rates for staff and faculty, but I believe it's different for Emeridian retirees. So let me pull those, and then we can share those with Aisha to share with you all. And those will be
Okay.
the rates effective July 1st.
Great, thank you.
I think she sent me an Excel spreadsheet. So is that the same one, Lamb, that I'm thinking of? Hang on, you're on mute.
Yes, that's the one we have. Sorry, I will have to pull up the document.
I printed it out too. I just left it in the other room, so I can go get my printout. Hang on one second while Lamb's looking for that too.
Lamb, do you know if Emirati retirees, they usually have access to the benefits eligible rates? Is that correct for the daily discounted permit? I actually don't know. So I don't know if you would know
I have
that.
it as the same as the staff rate.
The staff, okay, it's the same as the staff rate. Okay, if that's
Yes.
the case, then I have them here. So yellow permit will be $8.01 for the day, and that's a daily. And the blue will be $10.01 for the day, and that's a daily. And then for daily X permit, for those that might have access to it, that'll be $14.62. So hopefully that answers your question, Ron. So 801 for yellow, 1001 for blue, 1462 for, and that's effective July 1st.
So it's not going to be then actually half of what it is currently now.
Yeah, so that's after the parking occupancy tax as well. And so the yellow rate before the parking occupancy tax is actually a little less than half. It's like $7.28. So it's actually a little less than half because the pre-tax daily visitor rate is $15.45.
So
And then with the parking occupancy tax, it comes to 17.
Bottom line, what will the new blue out the door, the whole cost? What is going to be the cost for a daily blue permit?
One day, that'll be $10.01.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, when we list it on our website, we do tell you to add the 10% tax because we're not sure if there's other fees involved, and we don't want to misquote what we have on our website versus what's going to actually happen July 1st. So we do have kind of it highlighted that the base cost plus the California LA parking fee. So you have to add the tax to that. Okay. Any other questions that we have? Please feel free to go ahead and unmute yourself.
I have a question. Okay, if you're an annual permit holder and you're only allowed, I'm having a blue permit, you are only allowed to park 2 times a week in lot 1, right? So then if we want to go to 3rd, 4th, 5th visit, there will be $10 a day added to it. Is that right?
If you want to pay for a 3rd day,
Yeah,
you would just pay, you would get the discounted rate.
which is $10 something?
Yes.
$10 or 1?
Yes. Can you confirm, Lauren or Peraza?
Yeah, so if you're trying to buy the daily permit, so like let's say a daily blue permit for lot 1, then that would be the $10.01. But what I would recommend if you're just going for appointments and you're likely going to only be there for a few hours, I would suggest you just use the visitor parking. So that entrance off of Westwood, go into the medical plaza, pull a ticket. Because we're going to have those new rates effective July 1st that are staggered by the hour. If you're only going to be there, let's say 3 hours, it'll be less than $10 if you do that. So So unless you plan to park for like half the day or something, then yeah, you want to try to buy a daily permit. But again, structure one is also difficult to buy daily permits in, as you've heard some of the others on the call say, as soon as just after midnight, they're sometimes sold out. So yeah, you have either option if you need a third day or beyond what your permit doesn't already cover.
Okay, thanks.
Of course.
Okay, final
Excuse me,
call, I guess. Yeah, go
sorry.
ahead. No, go for it.
Oh, sorry. Just another follow-up with the hourly rate that she was just talking about. So that's the Park Mobile option. Is there something else that we need to do? Do we need to download any app, or that's automatic already when you park in the Medical Plaza structure, you know, whatever number of hours you're there, that's the only thing you pay? I don't know if my question made sense, but
So I think just to reiterate, the medical center parking lot is not on the same system. And I don't want to misspeak. So can someone from parking services please clarify that the Park Mobile, does that work in the medical center plaza?
You're correct. It does not work. So if you're going to go to the Medical Plaza entrance off of Westwood, regular patient parking, you just need to pull in, pull a ticket upon entry, and then pay on exit. And that's where you'll find those rates that are like prorated hourly and beginning July 1st. Park Mobile
okay.
is only going to be good for really campus lots. So structures 8, structure 4, structure 5, structure 2, structure 3. Those are the areas where you can use Park Mobile.
Okay, but there are no designated parking, whatchamacallit, spaces for the Park Mobile. It's
No,
still
so it's
first come,
just
first
visitor
serve.
parking. Exactly. First come,
Okay,
first serve. It's just visitor parking. It's basically just preventing you from having to go to the pay station machine and put in your license plate. You just do everything on your phone instead, so that you're just park and then can walk to your location instead of having to go to the machine.
okay. Okay, so you still need to download the app. Okay,
Yes, or use the website. There's also a website. I've used the app personally. The app's pretty easy. It saves your credit card info and everything, so that's what I would recommend. But the website does work as well.
okay.
So then you can
Sounds
do the
good.
parking stand or the parking app that's connected. And I will say it's similar to other universities. For example, when I go to games at the school across town, I text to a certain number that they post, and then I pay via text. So it's, the apps are the wave of the future as far as parking at college universities. Any other questions people have? Okay, I will definitely list parking services email and their hours of service. If you have any other questions or having issues with your renewal this year, we'll update our website as soon as possible. There are 19,000 retirees and only 3 staff, so we do try to make sure we can prioritize things, especially this time of year.
I have,
So,
I have
yeah,
one
go ahead,
question.
Andrea.
Yeah, regarding, excuse me, basketball games and parking under the Wooden Center or over on that lot off of Sunset. I don't know if I missed it. Are we still allowed to use our annual permit there?
For which lot? For the
Andrea,
407?
yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
assume
one
you mean
that's
structures 4 or 7.
4.
4? Yeah, so the annual permit is valid in structure 4. Just note that when you arrive, they sometimes have staff on site that are doing valet and like special access parking for those that have like season passes and stuff. So they may redirect you to like the lower level of 4. They may redirect you through to structure 7. Just depending on the game and depending on the day, the operations can change. So just kind of follow the advice of whoever's there on site. But yes, very technically speaking, your permit is valid in the non-reserved spaces of structure 4 during any time, but if even during like a basketball game, for example.
What about that 4-hour business? Let's say I volunteered a couple of times during the week. Would that fall in on going on a basketball night or whatever?
Yeah, so unfortunately, there are still the same restrictions, unless, of course, you're like a season ticket holder or have different
I
kind of
am
eligibility. Oh, you are? Then maybe talk to your the team you work with for your season tickets, they may have better parking options for you. They may be able to kind of extend your permit or do something specific to allow you to come to those games. But
Okay.
just with your like V Blue or V Brown, whichever you have, that is still only valid for those 2 times a week. And that would include if you were coming to a game. But yeah, I'd recommend talking to whoever you work with for your season tickets. I'm sure they have parking arrangements that they can help you get as well.
I will say,
Okay.
I've
Okay,
also
thank
gone
you.
to games, and I think it's cheaper to buy a night permit because I forgot what it costs, but I recall going to one game and like, oh, the night permit's cheaper, and it does work in 4 and 7.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
I had
I'm
another
surprised got lucky
question
with that.
about parking in the medical center. Is it cheaper to just to park in Med Plaza if you're going to be there only for a couple hours, as opposed to trying to get parking in lot 1 for the whole day?
Sorry, Ron, can you repeat that question? I was looking at some
Sure.
chats here and got
Yeah.
distracted.
So I often I go to the faculty dental practice, which is in the 100 building, and I'm wondering, is it cheaper for me to park in the Med Plaza parking because I'm only there for an hour or so, as opposed to parking in structure 1 and getting my reduced parking, paying $10 for it?
Yeah, so after July 1st, it would be slightly cheaper. I don't have the exact rates in front of me, but I do know that for like the 1 to 3 hour gap, I believe it is, it's going to be less than $10. So yeah, as
Okay.
long as you're okay with kind of that walk up from the medical plaza, those rates may also extend to Jules Stein. Admittedly, I'm not positive, and so feel free to maybe email us if you want to know, like, hey, or what are the new rates effective July 1st in Jules Stein? We can get back to you. But Jules Stein's slightly closer. It's on, the east
Right.
side of Westwood, so you don't at least
Right.
have to cross the street there.
And generally speaking, how is parking availability in the Med Plaza? Since 1 can be a challenge, is Med Plaza typically easier to find parking?
Yeah, so we do have some more impacted days. I know that like Tuesdays, as example, because Tuesdays tend to be surgery days, we do get very busy down there on Tuesdays.
Okay.
I know a lot of times like Jules Stein does have to overflow to the medical plaza.
Mm,
But I would say for the most part, the medical plaza filling isn't something that usually happens. It tends to have space pretty regularly.
perfect. All right. Thanks so much.
Yeah, of course.
And I will say with folks, living in Los Angeles for a while, if you have a disability placard, you can do street parking and not pay the meter. I'm not sure if that's common knowledge, but you can park at any metered spot and put up your placard and you get whatever the parking is for that meter. So just FYI, I learned that. Um,
That's good.
okay. Any other questions? Going once? Okay, so give me some time to compile these questions in the chat to cohesive email, and I'll send that out, if not today, for sure Monday, but I'll try to work on it today with some other things going on. Okay, thank you to the transportation team. I really appreciate you doing this for us with our retirees. Maybe we could have this be a yearly thing. If there's going to be new changes next year, we'll see what we can do as far as getting another session next year. But feel free to always ask us and email us. I'll make sure if you're on this Zoom, I'll send you the email, and then you could just contact us with questions, and we can be your liaison to transportation and get those questions answered for you. So have a great Friday afternoon, and don't melt outside. It's a heat wave. Okay. Bye.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you all.
Guys,
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey.